Oh, what is the episode number? This is episode 14, right?
Yeah, that's what you said earlier.
All right. So I believe the light is green.
Yep, I got the notification on my phone. So
all right, the light is green. We're going to start off with an unplanned, unscheduled, unrehearsed. No idea what we're going to talk about. CoCoTALK After Dark, episode 14 on a Sunday night, no less. So let's go ahead, and since this is a professional show, let's kick in that intro music, and then we're going to start this train wreck off.
CoCoTALK After Dark. CoCoTALK After Dark.
That's right, it's CoCoTALK After Dark, episode 14. I'm your fake announcer voice guy, Stevie Stroh, and we're going to talk about something to be determined. And on that note, why don't we jump in and let's start talking. Woo, how was that crap? All right, so here we are. We're here. We literally pulled this one out of thin air, out of the seat of our pants, unplanned, unscheduled. CoCoTALK After Dark on a Sunday night, no less. I don't think we've done this on a Sunday night too often.
I don't think we ever have.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been an interesting and unusual weekend, and a lot of people had a lot of things to do. So our good friend Grant Leighty was at VCF Midwest this weekend. So, and I know you're driving home. You'll be home, soon. So you might have to drop off as you get out of the car and stuff. But maybe you can share with us a little bit of teasers about that. I know you mentioned you got lots of photos, lots of videos that we'll probably be showing off next week. So. Thanks for being here, Grant. We also have from Canada, D. Bruce Moore. Welcome, Bruce.
Howdy.
We have from the Western Hemisphere of the United States, anyways. We have Mr. Scott Wendt with us. Hello, Scott.
Hello, hello.
And then last but certainly not least, legendary game designer in his own mind, Mr. Rick Adams is with us.
Hello, hello.
You are too kind. Thank you. And I will be your host for this train wreck, Stevie Stroh. And happy Sunday evening to everyone. And so let me tell you something funny that happened for those of you who missed it. So unfortunately, I just wasn't really feeling that great on Saturday. And so I wasn't able to stream the show. Originally, we kind of like weren't going to stream it because of VCF, whatever. So I'm like, all right, well, I don't feel good, so I'm going to try to schedule a pre-recorded thing to air live. And I tried to upload it and do it, and then the thing's like, well, your video's too long. You're going to have to buy a monthly subscription. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just not going to do it. But I didn't turn off the fact I scheduled this thing. So even though my video didn't post, they aired this weird video, and it was like a cartoon of a rabbit or something. So it was like a Pixar animated cartoon that streamed for like 10 minutes Saturday. I have no idea. I have no idea where that cartoon came from. I guess it came from Restream. It must be like one of their demo videos. So instead of like a show, some people got a cartoon. So hopefully it was a good one, but it's gone because I went ahead and deleted it. But that was just weird because actually I opened up my computer. And I see the stream. I'm like, why am I streaming? What's going on here? And I'm thinking I'm getting hacked. I go and ask my daughter, Megan. I'm like, Megan, are you on my YouTube account? Are you doing something? She's like, no. And so like, I'm freaking out. How the hell am I streaming? And by the time I could like start digging into it, I got the email from Restream saying, hey, congratulations, your stream is over. It lasted 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, it all kind of clicked in. So that was weird. So yeah, it was like a lot of things happened at the last minute. I was hoping to go to VCF, and then like the week I was supposed to leave, I can't go, I can't afford it. So that kind of sucked. I'm like, well, I'll be home so we can do a CoCoTALK, and then I'm like, no, I can't do a CoCoTALK because I'm going to go to Florida Retro Club meeting. And then I wake up feeling crappy, and so I can't go to Florida Retro Club. So it's just been this whole weird weekend. End of my rant. I'm done. Sorry, guys. Greg, how was VCF in a nutshell?
It was amazing. It was very large. It was very informative. Scott saw a lot of neat machines. Definitely will be going next year. It's definitely worth going to. If you've never been to a VCF, this is the one to go to because as I've talked to other people who do both VCF West and East, and I think there's one in the South, they say this is the largest one, and it was very good. So I enjoyed it. We'll have pictures and videos to come shortly. So
excellent. Now, if you had to only do one event in the entire year, and your budget was tight, and you had to pick one, Sophie's choice here. There's so many different retro things. Would you say this would be, if you could only do one, this would be the one to do?
I would say so because the CoCo is very well represented there, and especially Rick Adams and Bomb Threat, who was, as you saw last night during the stream, that we I think he was on 6 different machines.
Wow.
There was an MC10, but yeah, you get a taste of everything. If you like Amigas, they have Amigas. If you like Ataris, they have a lot of Ataris, and of course, if you like the Commodore, they have a lot of Commodores. So
okay.
Yes, I would say if you had to pick one show to go to, including CoCo Fest, I would say this would be the show because it's kind of like a large CoCo Fest, but a lot more machines with it,
Okay. Fair enough. Good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, they also had a lot of Tandies there and TRS-80s as well, too, so.
Was Randy Kindig there from Floppy Days?
I'm not for sure if I saw him there or not. There'll be a David Ladd question on that one.
Okay, and then
and I was going to say there was another person there. Rick, who was that person that we ran into last night? Something Hackaday or something like that from YouTube.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Glenn Heck or Ben Heck or something like that.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, so he was there, and I got to meet him, and David introduced me to him, so that was pretty cool.
Okay.
So
I think David posted a picture of him with that guy. I recognize the name, but I'm not familiar with the show.
Yeah, neither was I. It felt bad. He's like, hey, yeah, sure, I'll watch the show.
Sure. What's your favorite episode? Oh, that one.
Exactly.
That one. The one that you were in and you talked about that thing. Yeah, that was good.
But no, I had a great time. I'm glad I went, and hopefully you guys will go next year as well. So.
Yeah. So Rick Adams is showing us his LED display there. We saw all kinds of stuff. We saw CoCoTALK flying by the screen. We saw the news, the weather, the time, the temperature. Excellent. And Scott Wendt, how have you been, sir?
I've been well.
Oh, by the way, you've recently become a patron, didn't you? Malfunct, is that you?
I believe so, yes.
Yes, thank you for your patronage. I need to add you to the list, to the scoreboard. I just got notified of that recently. Thank you. You're too kind. Yes, so thank you for your recent patronage. That looks like a computer from the 50s and the 60s there. This is definitely a Star Trek readout here now, Rick. That's Rick's LED setup. All kinds of weird stuff going on there. Blinky lights, and they're out of sequence. They're not blinking in sequence. We need to do something about that. And Mr. Moore, Bruce Moore, how are you, sir?
I'm doing all right, thanks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, Bruce, question for you. I saw something about a contest. Is that something you want to talk about now, or is that on hold till next week?
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I should go ahead with a contest or just get all the episodes out the door, or what I should do with CoCo Forever. I just don't know what's the best thing to do. I don't want to drag it out too long. I'm just trying to think of something to try and get some more. I don't know, what do they call it? Mind share? Is that what it is? Get people kind of on board. I think it's such an odd idea having a CoCo product that's mostly something you just listen to. If I was to call it a podcast, then maybe it would make sense. But then it's not a podcast. It's video drama is kind of
audio drama.
Yeah, it's an audio drama, I guess, with parts that you run on your CoCo, and I don't know. It's supposed to be some sort of immersive experience, and I guess I've gotten. Let me think. There's probably, I don't think, maybe I'm guessing maybe 30 people, which I guess that's not bad. I just I just want the world to hear it. That's
Yeah, true.
It's good. I enjoy it.
Ron
I really
Delvaux
do.
has joined us. Hello, Ron.
Peace out.
Hey, Ron.
Ron, I think you need to have a word with Rick Adams about stationary camera placement, not making us all seasick. Since tonight the role of shaky cam is now being played by Rick Adams. That's a cool display there, Rick. That looks really neat.
It is.
And this is the kind of stuff he's got in his windows. He's got these things running in his windows year round. So it's pretty cool. Pretty high tech.
He used to run it in
This has got to be the geekiest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, Rick. Do you address this as individual pixels? Are you moving all those pixels, or do you have something more elaborate doing it like on byte levels or anything? Or
It's just individual pixels. It's a big array of pixels.
okay. It's pretty cool.
It's actually one very long string of lights, and at the lowest level, it's a one-dimensional array with a color code for every light in the string.
Okay.
But it keeps track of the mapping of the lights. There's like an actual maps file that has how the lights are arranged, and so it keeps track of all that. So
It's not much different than video memory on the CoCo, right?
Yeah,
It really is just one big long string of bytes.
Yep.
And this is being driven by a Raspberry Pi?
Yep.
And what model Pi? Is it a Pi 3 or is it a lower end Pi?
I think it's a Pi 2 actually.
Pi 2. Okay. That's cool. That's neat.
Little tiny thing.
Yeah, so it sounds like VCF West was great. VCF Midwest, I should say, was a great show. That's the unit down there?
Yep.
Wow.
With a quad NOR gate on the top there as a level shifter from 3 volts to 5 volts.
Ah.
You can get away with using 3 volts, which is what comes out of the Pi, but then the signal wire has got to be really short or it gets very confused. I think it probably picks up the 60 cycle hum from the wall current and stuff. Whatever, so if the signal wire is too long and it's 3 volts, it gets confused because it picks up spurious signals. So I just, get it up to 5 volts so I can make the line longer. Plus it gives me an excuse to make a little prototype board and wire it up and practice my soldering. My soldering skills were not great. In high school, I was really pretty good, but nowadays, well, it's been mumble years. So, yep, there it is. There's there's 2 signal wires coming out because it can do 2 channels, but this little display that I have here only needs 1. So, one of those is just flopping loose.
Hey Rick, regarding soldering skills, I did soldering in high school too. Is it your experience that being precise was easy in high school, but now the problem is that we just can't focus our eyes enough?
Well, actually, I think the problem is that in high school, it was always big stuff, big terminal lugs and stuff, and nowadays you got to do it on these little tiny boards with these little tiny traces, and I just wasn't up for it. So I had to get good tools. I got a temperature controlled soldering iron and thinner solder and solder flux, and I need every bit of help I can get. So anytime somebody gave me a tip of well, you need to use solder flux, it's like, okay, well then I will. And then I have a solder sucker and in case I do something wrong, and I've got solder wick, and so you get the right tools and then you do better than back when I had a pencil soldering iron and the big fat solder. I didn't do as well.
Got it. I still have my pencil soldering iron.
Oh, hey, can I show you guys something that I got?
Yeah.
Sure.
No.
When we talk about what do you call it? Acquisitions, right? And stuff.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of things from Mr. Jason Reichard, and I haven't even opened them up yet. They're still in the bubble wrap. But this little skinny cable here, well, no, not a boomerang. These are CoCo Man products. So one of them is a brand new product called the Wallaby with a capital Y. And so the Wallaby is an RGB Y cable. So you plug one into your CoCo and that gives you two outputs. That way you can run like one of the HDMI converters and still have your CM8 or output to like an HDMI and then maybe an S video adapter. But you could run two RGB displays off of the Wallaby cable. So I've got that. And so I'm going to try that out. It's still bubble wrapped. I haven't done it. And I got a switcheroo, the only leading RGB to SCART solution that lets you switch from RGB to composite with the flip of a switch. So a switcheroo, which I'm going to try out too, because my other one is the old-fashioned manual cable where you have to unplug the USB port every single time you want to go to composite. Another thing too that Jason has done just a little bit differently is he's pulling his audio straight from the RGB output from the CoCo, so you don't need the Y adapter to convert your single RCA output into two for stereo and stuff like that. It all kind of feeds it that way.
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm hoping maybe the volume might be a little bit better because I do notice that when I run my CoCo 3 through the RGB to SCART adapter, that the volume just not super high. Like when I was doing the Popstar pilot thing with Nick, I had the thing cranked up to 11 and you could barely hear the propeller or the balloons. You know, it just wasn't that loud. So maybe getting it straight from the source might work. Ken Reichert is here. He says the switcheroo is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yes, there we have it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying those out. It's been a crazy weekend. Oh, it's been a mostly, non-productive weekend for me. Other than playing Minecraft, it's about the only productive thing I got done. I take that back. I actually weed whacked today too. So, cool. Ron Delvaux, what's new and exciting with you?
I've been playing with my old stock. My 386 I got here. It's a 33 megahertz PC. I have just discovered today. I had an old picture of it. I had different drives on it, and they were switched in different places, but same case. And it has this little blue tub of a battery on it, which usually leaks and screws up.
Oh, like the old barrel style batteries?
Yeah, but it's working, and I can shut the thing off. I shut it off yesterday. Today, I booted it back up, and it kept the time and date.
Okay, so the real-time clock is still valid, huh?
It's actually recharging, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of amazing.
I don't think those barrel batteries are rechargeable. It's just been lucky enough not to be run down.
I guess. But I haven't
It's a good time to change it while it's still not ruptured, though.
This hasn't been started since '96.
Wow.
That's a sweet battery.
Yeah, it's still there. Anyway, so
that in the electric cars these days.
yeah, I pulled out my two different Tandy machines, and I got one to emulate the CoCo 2, and the blinking cursor goes blink, blink, blink.
Oh, like I'm just changing through the 8 colors or whatever.
Yeah. So I had to go into it, and it has a speed thing you can pull all the way over, to the side. So it was almost the same rate as normal, but it's still slower,
Okay. Picture, if you will, a color computer even slower than its native speed.
Yeah. Well, this is
Definitely Twilight Zone.
This is a 33 megahertz machine, so you would think that it would be fast enough, but I guess no. I didn't try it on this one yet. It was a 7 megahertz machine.
Okay, yeah.
That's right.
Mikey has joined us. Hello, Mikey. Your microphone is muted, but hello. Lovely to see you. Oh, he says I know. Okay, shaking his head. I heard it rattle. Okay, so Mikey's here. And so I guess we lost Grant. Grant was driving home from VCF Midwest. He had a 7.5 hour drive, and when we got on the call, he said he had, less than a half hour to get home. So he's probably doing that whole getting out, getting unpacked, stretching your legs, draining the main vein, all that kind of stuff. So what's in the background there, Ron? What is that game? I see the big word time pulsating.
Where in time is Carmen Sandiego?
Oh,
Ooh.
those were pretty classic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a game. I don't have any sound cards, so no sound in it. 1990.
Wow.
Broderbrunn Software.
And that's something.
Yeah. It's a VGA monitor, an old Sony CPD 1320. It's Sony, so it has that curved,
Yes, before they got to the
Hey,
flat Trinitron style.
Yeah.
What brand is that computer? Is that just like a PC clone?
Yeah, it's just a clone. Yep.
What is this? What heresy is this? Rick Adams playing Minecraft on his Raspberry Pi?
I know how to start it. That's all I know. I can move. I can move around.
I had somebody else tell me that too. That on the Raspberry Pi there is a version of Minecraft, but I am pretty sure it's not anywhere near what the current version is as far as being able to play with other people online and all that kind of stuff. That's probably just.
I'm sure I could update it to the latest.
Advantage, though.
What's that, Scott?
I said it has one interesting advantage, though.
What's that?
It's actually programmable in Python, so you can actually give it commands that will build like a whole structure for you.
Oh yeah, I actually have. This is going to be my second show and tell for the day, but we actually got sent this as a gift a while ago, and I haven't messed with it too much. But this is a build-it-yourself computer called the Piper Computer Kit.
Oh, I was looking at that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's based on the Raspberry Pi 3. You build the
really
case
nice.
out of wood. It's got a 7-inch screen. It runs on rechargeable batteries. And it's got a breakout board where you connect all the wires, and it's running the educational version of Minecraft. And as you play through the game, it teaches you how to wire the keyboards. And so you have to build your own keyboards. And then it teaches you how, and then you make buzzers and lights and things like that. Like one of the levels in the game was like you're hunting for treasure and you have to move around. And as you get closer to the treasure, the actual little beeper coming off the Raspberry Pi would start beeping faster and louder and stuff. And so it's kind of aimed at kids to teach them real basic electronics using the Raspberry Pi and Minecraft. And so my daughter Megan and I were playing with that. We spent like 2 hours. A lot of it was just building the case, the wooden case. And so it kind of closes up. It looks like a chest, but when you open it up, the lid is the screen and all kinds of stuff. So
Neat.
pretty cool. Like here's the wooden case that it comes in right here.
I think I
It's
know
got
a
a-
kid who would like one of those.
Yeah, it's got a plastic cover and stuff.
What'd that set you back?
Well, actually, this was sent to me by a guy named Dan Loyal. He sent it to me and Megan to play with, so it was a gift. But I think they range in price from about 150 to 200 and change, depending on who's selling it.
Wow.
But it's mostly because it's you have we had to build everything, so we had to build this and put the screen in it and all that kind of stuff. It's got a 7-inch screen. Like down here you can see there's red and green and blue buttons. Those are the keys. And each one of those is connected with like a jumper wire to a little extra project board and stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's like real simple electronics. It reminds me of the old Radio Shack kits.
Yeah.
But this is kind of interactive because you're playing Minecraft with it,
Neat.
That thing looks cool.
Yeah. What is Ken Reichert saying? What if you are scared of snakes? And so you didn't have to pay, because I didn't pay for it, so you didn't have to pay the piper. Yeah. So that's a neat kit. And it actually just reminds me, I'd like to play with that with Megan a little bit more too, because I was actually learning a few things too, since I know very little about electronics myself. So.
Hey, who's Scott? Scott Wendt. Where are you from? What you have? What you do?
Well, I've been hanging out in the Discord for quite a while now and on Facebook. I'm out on the West Coast. I went to Tandy Assembly and met a bunch of the guys last year.
Mm-hmm.
Been a CoCo user since I was like 5 years old.
Good. Cool.
Where on the West Coast are you?
Up in Seattle.
Okay. I'm in Hong Kong on vacation, but I'm in the San Jose area.
Yeah, that's a ways away.
How's your trip been, Mikey? Those pictures and videos you've been sending us are really neat.
Oh, It's been okay. Weather is actually a little bit better than I thought. It was supposed to be like rainy, but instead it's been hot, and I've been swimming in my shirt. But
Oh, wow.
we've been out and about quite a bit. So for yesterday, we were stuck at home the whole day because of the typhoon. The building was waving back and forth, swaying back and forth a little bit, but we survived. So they were going to figure out where we can go because they don't have the bus service yet. They had enough damage that they had road closures and trees and things that blew over. So it's going to take them a little while to clear that stuff out. But
Wow.
I'm sure we'll venture out to see what happened, what it looks like down on the street later.
How long are you there for?
We were supposed to go back yesterday on Sunday, but of course our flight got canceled because of the typhoon. So now we're going back on Thursday.
I'm glad you're okay.
But everything was fine here. We had power and internet the whole time when the storm was blowing by, so it wasn't really an issue. We left August 15th, I think. We went from San Jose to Tokyo. We spent about a week in Tokyo, and then the rest of the time we've been here in Hong Kong. So we've been gone from home a little bit over a month. I missed the cooler weather in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Did you post that you found or saw an FM7 when you're in your travels, or
no?
Somebody else? No,
I didn't see any retro computers pretty much at all.
Okay.
So, Scott, have you not been on before when Ron Delvaux was on?
I don't think so.
Probably not. I've only really been on with you the one other After Dark.
Okay. Yeah, Scott's been around, Ron.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Probably. I went to look your name up, but there's like 7. Scott wins.
Yeah, the nice thing about Scott is that when you see his little profile picture avatar, it looks almost like him in real life. So the cartoon Scott looks very much like the real life Scott. He's got these,
okay, then you're Microsoft
he's got
guy?
the beard. Yeah, he works for Microsoft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Took a long time building that avatar on my Xbox.
Hey, Diego has joined us. How you doing, Diego?
I'm good. And you?
Not bad, not bad. Welcome, everyone, one and all. Hopefully we'll get Greg back on a little bit. I can't wait to hear more about VCF Midwest. It sounds like it was just a huge show. Big show. Really
Scott,
big show.
What do you do, Scott, at Microsoft?
I work on internal tools, processing a lot of big data stuff. Our team collects log data, metric data, all of that kind of stuff from servers and network devices and all of that around the company, and puts it in one big storage place and tries to learn how to make things more better.
So you have busy days, huh?
Oh, yeah, lots of them.
So we can't curse you for the Windows 10 updates, at least.
I have nothing to do with Windows other than making sure that those developers have a really great working network to work on.
Okay, good. Tom C is here. Oh, when Ken said, "Are you afraid of snakes?" is because when Scott mentioned that the Raspberry Pi Minecraft can be programmed in Python. That's when Ken says, "But what if you're scared of snakes?" So if you're scared of snakes, then you can't program in Python, I guess, huh? So, but that wouldn't work well for Pi DriveWire or PiWire, whatever it's called, right? What is the official name of Python DriveWire?
Pi DriveWire.
I like PiWire though. Why don't you call it PiWire?
Hey, can you get a DriveWire to work on the PC here through the serial port?
I think they had a DOS version of DriveWire.
Do they?
But it might be a little hard to track down these days. DriveWire version 3 is not going to have all the serial port stuff. I'm pretty sure they had something back then because it's been around a long time.
Is it? Yeah, because I'm trying to think of. I guess I have to put a 720 or a small floppy in there so that I can go back and forth because I have one of these USB jobs.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I did it with the other machines.
You just have to hope that your USB floppy can read those 720K discs. Not all of them can.
It does.
Oh, then you got one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Mine does not.
This is a, what brand is it? Smart Disk, it says.
Oh, mine says dumb disk. I must have bought the wrong one. Smart disk, yeah.
Yeah.
It all depends on which Chinese microcontroller they put in it, I suppose.
I guess. I got it at, it was $1.99 at Goodwill.
Ah. I bought one I haven't used yet. Mine is called a Rayu. Rayu or something. Hold on. Let me see. I haven't even opened it up yet. I think I bought one for craps and giggles, but oh yeah, this is my little 3.5-inch USB floppy. I'm not sure how good you guys can see that. But it comes with like a little ruler and stuff too.
Do it again so we can see it. Oh yeah,
Rayu. There's the front of it.
Yeah.
Here's the internal label. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't messed with it. At the time, I was thinking I might need it to get stuff. But I got kind of lucky that right now I built a Windows 98 machine, and I can get that on my network. So I've got it on my network. I'm putting everything like on an old NAS drive this uses the old SMB protocol, and so Windows 98 I can just put everything on a NAS and get it straight to the machine. So I haven't needed this, but I got one.
So I was struggling to figure out how to get stuff back and forth on the Windows 98 machine that I built. And I had been writing things to floppy disk or burning them onto CD, and then my son shows up, and he's like, "Why aren't you using the USB port?" And my first response was, "Well, of course it doesn't have a USB port. It's too old." But actually, it does. And so
Windows 95B.
Fine.
Yeah, USB support was introduced in 95B, I think. What is that? Is that a hard card, Ron?
Yeah, 40 gig.
Huh.
It's a mini scribe. 15th of December, 1988 it was made.
Wow.
It's 2 errors on the chart.
I'm sure it's got a lot more.
Yeah.
By now, maybe. It doesn't, it isn't recognized in my Tandy 1000 TL for some reason.
Is that an IDE drive, or is it old enough to be MFM?
I think it's MFM. It's, you know, the card is right on it. Oh, here, look.
Yeah. Well, no, if you turn it back around to the drive side, if it has 2 cables going to it,
yep,
a small cable and a big cable, like that, that's either MFM or RLL. So that's
makes it a lot harder to upgrade to more modern storage.
Because that had one was controller data, one was just data, right? One was controller, one was data.
Right.
Back in the
I missed
good
the
old
Windows
days.
95 discussion a minute ago. Wasn't that the one where they had the famous blue screen when Bill Gates was demoing stuff on screen?
Yeah, that might have been 98 though. Yeah.
I
actually got to meet the guy who set up the hardware for that demo. He was on one of my teams at work, so that was interesting. I think it was actually like the USB hub or something like that had a fault, and Windows had no protection against it, so it's only sort of kind of Windows' fault.
That's pretty epic. I don't know if I mentioned that Tom C is here from New Jersey. Hey, Tom C, how are you? Yeah, that's I just always love that famous scene from South Park, the movie, where they're trying to pull up the Death Star display of the whole battle plan, and it crashes. Like, get Bill Gates in here! Shoots him. That was good stuff.
So speaking of,
go ahead.
I was saying, speaking of bugs, I've been using a relatively new device for the Apple II world called the Applesauce to archive hundreds and hundreds of floppy disks I have around in my house. And on September 5th, they had released a new update. So, of course, I took it because it's new hardware. New updates are supposed to make it better, right? Well, it turns out it had a really serious bug that made all of the images it wrote out completely incomprehensible to a computer, and I didn't notice it until I had imaged about 320 disks.
Oh no.
And so luckily we found it. I got the info back to the author of the tool. It's been fixed, but now I have to redo 320 copies.
But it didn't screw up your masters, though, right? Your sources are still
Oh,
good?
no. Well, I mean, every time you read a floppy disk, you never know, but I think they're all fine.
Okay. Yeah, that would not be good.
One nice thing with the hardware he has is there's actually a hard switch that turns off the write circuitry. So I have that set to not allow writes.
Not to write back.
Capable of writing back to blank disks, but when I'm archiving my whatever I have, I certainly don't want to write to them.
Man.
Well, I got into Minecraft. Now I can't figure out how to get out.
You can't. You're stuck there for weeks.
Control,
All right.
Alt, delete.
Stevie knows how that works. You start playing and you
I
just
even
don't
tried
stop.
that. This is a Pi, so Control Alt Delete doesn't do what you think.
Try the escape key.
What about
Yeah,
Control
escape to
Alt?
bring up the menu.
Control Alt F1.
There we go. Quit. Excellent. Thank you.
You got away.
I was trapped.
Trapped in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Look what else I have.
Is that like Windows Paint or
Yeah.
PC Paintbrush?
It's called Paint It, version 1.1, 1988, by Dexa International.
I think
It
that was a
looks like,
pack-in I had one point.
Yeah, it looks just like what we have on the CoCo.
Yeah, these were all kind of derived from Mac Paint
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Exactly, yeah. This
Color-
monitor flickers because of it being freaking old.
yeah, no, it's cool though. It looks authentic. Glistening 16 colors of the old VGA, right?
Well, I can get out of VI, but I couldn't get out of Minecraft.
Yeah, one of these days, Rick, and maybe in the not too distant future, when we get a little bit closer to doing actual hands-on assembly demonstrations, I was talking to Mr. Bjork recently about that, and we've been trying to deliberate what's the best way to come up with a development environment, and we kind of both agreed that the Rick Adams way sounds like the way to go, right? Because you're doing your development on the Pi, and you're pushing it over with a cable to real hardware.
Yep.
And so, so in the near future, I might want to pick your brain with some specific steps on what to do to get that going and test it.
How to get how to get like the drive wire set up and stuff like that.
Well,
Ron Klein knows that, and I don't know it all that well. I very carefully followed the directions that Ron Klein gave me, so I don't know off the top of my head how to do it.
Well, I'm assuming the drive wire is already running. Drive wire itself is running on the Pi, but it's more like your process to do your editing and do the the assembling to the disk image and pushing that over to the real CoCo.
Yep.
If I remember right, you had a makefile, right, Rick?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the whole magic, and it's probably fairly generalizable to whatever you're going to do, Stevie.
Yeah.
Right, and right now that's a completely foreign concept to me. So that's where when I would like if you could hold my hand a little bit, we can maybe schedule some time, and I'd like to walk through it. Eric Canales has joined us. Hey, Eric. I understand that Eric. I heard when Mr. Linville told us that he was nominated for one of the runners for president of Glenside, I heard that Eric Canales was another one. So, congratulations, Eric, on your nomination, and let the negative campaign ads begin. The other guy does this.
Well, if Eric should wear the white cowboy hat.
The white hat, right? So Linville's already wearing the black hat, right? So
Yeah.
he really should be wearing the red hat, from considering where he works. So.
Well, yeah.
Planning to vote for whoever has less hair.
John Linville, wears a black hat. He's trying to tell you something.
Yeah, I missed I missed the meeting, but we heard about it on Discord. I think John Linville had mentioned that. Gave us a synopsis of the meeting. Although I'm not sure when the voting begins and how the voting works. So
does this mean Tony is not running? Do we know?
And listen, I don't want to be the one to spread hearsay, but I'm pretty sure my short-term memory is enough to recall what it was just before the weekend. I think it was just before the weekend. We were all on Discord chatting. John Linville had popped in. So maybe it was Thursday night, or maybe it was after the Glenside meeting. And I think Tony was nominated, and I think Tony declined the nomination, which just left it open to other people. So, and the two names I remember John mentioning were himself and Eric Canales. So I'm not sure who other nominees might be, but that's what I know so far. Maybe Eric can let us know. And Eric, if you want to join us on Zoom, we're on Zoom chatting. Anybody's welcome to join us. Ken, you can join us. Tom C, you guys can join us. It's a slow night. It's a cozy little panel here. No worries, no pressure. Yeah, so that should be interesting to see how that goes. And again, I don't know when the whole voting process happens,
or even how.
Yeah. I believe part of it is you have to print out your ballot on a TP10 printer. And then
that heat paper, the little
it was whatever they're using to print their receipts at CoCo Fest, right? So you got to print out your ballot on paper, and then
I've only got the dot matrix, whatever 105. Is that acceptable?
I'm not sure.
Closest printer I have is for the Timex Sinclair 1000.
Wow.
The Timex Sinclair 2040 thermal printer, I think.
Oh yeah, that might pass.
I set up my printer, but I cannot get any of my Timex Sinclair 1000s to actually boot.
Wow.
They all go to beautiful gray screens with nothing on them. Except for I think one is fine, except you can't type anything because the keyboards are terrible and the Mylar always breaks.
Is anything socketed on those systems, or is everything like to surface mount?
I don't remember, and I should because I've had it apart enough in the last little bit.
I know enough to know that anything that's in a socket, it doesn't hurt to reseat it. That's my free advice.
1000 only has 3 chips, or 4 chips, I think. So
yeah, and 2 of those are memory.
Yep.
Wow. So it's CPU, video, and 2 RAM chips.
A CPU, a clump of every other piece of logic in the system, a ROM and a RAM.
Wow.
The ULA basically is every other chip that you can imagine in a computer in one chip for the Sinclair.
It has the clock, it has the video, it has the bus control, it has the tape recording and playback. Everything is in that chip.
Wow.
So they took the ZX80, which is a board full of chips, and they put it all in one 40-pin chip.
That's actually sounds pretty impressive.
Although they didn't have enough pins, so one of the pins is both the video output and the cassette drive or the cassette tape input. So when you're loading a cassette tape, your video screen goes scrambly.
What's the name of this?
It's the ZX81 or the Timex Sinclair 1000.
Compromises had to be made somewhere. Oh, look! There we go. There is Diego's got one.
You have to do something to be the first 90-pound computer in the world.
Right. I think we got mine for $99 at Payless Drugstore.
My parents got my first computer, which was a Timex Sinclair 1000, for $49.95 in the mail. That was U.S. dollars, of course.
I got 2 of them.
Ken Reichert's chiming in on the negative campaigning. He says the other guy likes to kick puppies. No, the first guy kicks puppies. Oh, Ken is asking, does the screen distort on the Timex Sinclair when you type?
Yes.
There is a weird glitch with the screen freezing up while it reads the keyboard because it takes so long for the processor to read the keyboard input.
Wow.
It's too busy.
On the ZX81 and the Timex Sinclair 1000, they have what's called fast mode and slow mode. So fast mode, there's no video display, but the CPU is running your program. And slow mode, it's showing the video display, but everything is slower. So when you push a key, it actually switches to fast mode, read the key, it turns the video display off. So every time you push a key, the screen goes black while it reads it, and then the screen goes back on.
That's crazy.
Wow. That makes the MC10 seem like a marvel of engineering.
He's got more than one because he's got more than one doorway.
The MC10 don't remember the MC10 has the most powerful microcontroller available to the designer in 1983.
It also had the VDG, which makes a big difference. The Sinclair had to build up the entire screen signal using the processor, so it basically bit banged the entire video display.
Wow.
Wow.
So as much as we complain about our strange little 4 colors, having that VDG gave us a ton of extra power that other computers may not have had.
Wow.
Right, the Apple II basically the CPU does all the display also.
Well, the Apple II has a really clever video display circuit where basically the raw RAM can be read through like a shift register. I have the details wrong, but through a really simple circuit. And the output of that simple circuit based purely on the RAM was actually NTSC-ish signal, and TVs could read it. So they didn't have a video display chip, but the WAS built things in such a way the processor just had to write to RAM, and from there on out, this simple circuit handled it.
We have to be careful here. We might hit DEF CON 4.
What do we got here, Diego? These are the 4 chips?
Yeah, the inside of a Timex Sinclair 1000.
Are they socketed? It kind of looks like they are.
Like they're socketed, yeah.
They do look socketed, so I'll have to go give mine a wee wiggle.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I got a question about these socketed chips. Yeah, I seem to recall in high school having to put chips into sockets and pull them out again. And the first couple of times when I was kind of prying them out, I'd get them pried out and I'd grab them and they'd flip out, and they flipped over and embedded themselves in my thumb.
Yo.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yep.
Is it just me? I think I think I did it twice, and then that was it. I found some other way.
I've had chip pins embedded in my finger before.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like the thing leapt out and attacked me like a spider or something. It was
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
They have a bit of a springiness.
Yeah.
It's a defense mechanism.
Okay.
Yeah, because its underbelly is softer, and so in order to protect that, it's got these sharp claws that protrude to prevent would-be attackers from getting its soft underbelly.
Well, that makes sense.
And more powerful chip has more powerful grip.
Yeah, it's millions of years of evolution got us to this point. So.
It just has more legs to attack you with.
Yeah. So David Ladd joined us in the live chat. CoCoTALK. I wonder if he's still driving too. I'm not sure.
Where is that guy?
Where is he? Well, they were driving back from VCF Midwest today, so Grant is probably still unpacking.
David sent me a picture earlier in the day of him with Ben Heck showing off a portable Atari 800.
Yeah, that's neat. Ken, you have Ken Riker's giving you a new name now. Bruce is calling you Bruce Socket Moore.
What? Socket.
You're a socket, yeah, because the pin wanted to get you.
Socket. What?
Socket, yeah, socket.
Yeah.
And Tom C says, "I hate it when I get pins in your finger."
Yeah. Well, we were putting together, me and another guy in electronics class, we were putting together one of those the Hero 1, the Heathkit robots.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Solder the circuit boards together. There was a voice synthesizer. There was a robotic arm. And then there was, I don't know, just the other stuff. And then if you wanted to program it, you had to look up hex values in the manual and type them in. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I made one of those, and it ended up saying something like "I am Nomad."
Yeah.
My
Exterminate.
mission is to sterilize.
Exterminate
Must
MCC.
sterilize.
Exterminate Commodore. Exterminate Apple.
Yeah.
Exterminate.
It was my part of the job to do the voice synthesizer. The other guy did the arm, and the voice synthesizer wasn't working. I'm checking it, and it's like, man, everything looks right. And then, but we noticed, I don't know if you guys remember this, but those old transistors, they were PNP or NPN, and you couldn't tell. And so, so it was like, so the guy says, well, maybe you've got them in backwards. Oh, so I unsoldered, 3 or 4 transistors and then flipped them and put them in, and then the thing spoke. It was like,
Wow.
Around, it talks, it's alive.
Hey, we got James Differendaffer has joined us, and Steve Bjork has joined us too. Good evening, everyone.
Wow, it's
greetings.
out here.
It's almost turning into a show.
I got to program one of the hero ones when I was in college.
Did it take over the world, or was it pretty?
No, I bet it went across the room.
Yeah. Did you ever get that sonar to work so it wouldn't bump into stuff?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
It was too damn complicated.
Exactly. Wait, which one is the sender? Which one's the receiver? It had these 2 eyes. One's supposed to send out echo, and the other's supposed to receive it. We never got it to work.
Yeah. It would have been better to have programmed it in assembly than use the commands it had, the hex stuff.
Stuff. And that robot though, it makes an appearance in The Last Starfighter, that movie. It is.
Oh yeah.
You can see it there at some point.
It's like one of the droids on Star Wars or something.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Remember when that movie came out and said, "Oh, hey, there he is."
Yeah, that had if I remember right, that had a microcontroller version of the 6800 processor.
Yeah, I don't remember those. I don't remember those details. I just remember the chips biting me.
It was that. I don't know. Maybe they did a later one that was, I think, an 8088, but yeah.
Okay, I gotta drop off, guys.
All right. Well, hey, Rick, thanks for stopping by and giving us all motion sickness. So it's not.
Yeah. All part of the service.
Yeah.
Good night.
Lights were good. Cool. Thanks.
Go mow that lawn.
David Ladd has joined us. Hello, Sir David Ladd.
Good evening, everyone.
David, where are you? Are you home?
I'm home.
Hey, there you
We had him for a second and we lost his video.
Yeah.
Well, right now video would be not a good idea.
We'll take your word on that.
Yes.
Say no more.
How would I join the meeting? The meeting address is, if you go to Discord, there is a link to the Zoom client. You have to have Zoom installed to join the meeting, but it's the link to the Zoom meeting is in Discord. It's called Zoom Client Info or something like that under CoCoTALK.
If they click it, it might actually prompt you.
Yeah. Hey, so David, how was VCF Midwest?
Oh, it was great. So it went pretty well. Everybody was shocked that Ben Heck was there.
Yeah. That's cool. I know the name, but I have no idea what the hell he does. So.
And then...
Well, why don't you fill us in on this guy?
Well, if you haven't followed his channel, it's going to be kind of hard for me to fill you in. But he's kind of like a Jim or Richard, where they designs hardware, mod stuff, and things like that. But he did them for Element 14.
Didn't he do the portable 2GS?
Yes, and his most recent one before he left the show was the portable Atari 800, I think.
Okay, so he's designing like FPGA systems or something?
No, he takes original hardware and then makes new boards, puts the chips on it, in smaller form factors to do things.
Okay. So just a retooling of the same physical components.
Or makes new things. You'd have to look at some of his videos.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
he's on
just
YouTube.
Search YouTube as Ben Heck.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a ton of videos.
Excellent.
Hey guys.
Hey, there he is. There's Eric.
I figured it out.
Potential president of Glenside.
Yes. Yes.
Candidate.
Well, and I nominated Linville, and I think you would do just fine filling that role.
Sure.
We need a picture, Eric. We need a picture of you with a white cowboy hat.
Sure.
I've been informed that some food is showing up, so I'm going to get off of here for a little bit.
Food is good.
Hopefully,
fire bad. Food good.
Hopefully you're still here. Yesterday I tried to rejoin and couldn't. Anyway,
thanks for joining us,
you guys.
Mikey.
Yep.
Thanks.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
There was also a person at the VCF that was asking about you.
Jim Brain, maybe?
Nope.
Huh.
Leaf Bloomquist?
No way. Leaf was there.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
He asked me if I knew you and what was going on, and I said, "Oh yeah."
Is this somebody you know in real life, Bruce?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Leaf. Leaf. Well, what can I say about Leaf? Leaf has worked on. He's got code on Mars. Okay.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's got code in the navigation system on the Mars Pathfinder, and Leaf was younger than me by about 5 years, and he came. I remember when he came to our local computer club as a little kid, and I think I was a high school senior, so I was just on my way out. And so, believe it or not, the very first computer game he ever saw was Forest of Doom.
Wow.
Yeah. Leaf's gone to do some pretty amazing things. There's that, I think it's Osiris. It's a probe that's going out. It's gone out to a
Osiris Rex. It's called.
Yeah, it's gone out to a comet. It lands on it, takes a sample, and it's bringing the sample home. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Leaf worked on that.
Wow.
This guy from my hometown, who his first computer he saw was a CoCo, and he did lots of stuff on the VIC-20 and then the Commodore 64 and all that kind of thing. But he's got a CoCo in his, I think a CoCo one in his collection. That is so cool, David. Man, I wish I'd seen.
Yeah,
that.
he showed up recently as a suggested friend on Facebook, but because I guess he's friends of people I'm friends with, but I wasn't sure who he was.
Yeah,
the name
run. Part of the CoCo group. He's in there.
Okay.
I mean, he's not really active on there, but he's there.
Excellent.
Yeah, he's dabbled. Like when I told him I was going to CoCo Fest, he's like, "Wait a second, you got to go see Jim Brain because I guess he knows Jim Brain, and Jim Brain helped him do his first Commodore hardware project, I think it was." So, yeah, pretty neat.
Excellent. That sounds like somebody's beating away on the keyboard. So, Grant's back. Hey, Grant, how are you? Grant's muted.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. You settled in?
Yep, I have settled in. I'm actually updating some video right now to the VCF channel on Discord. So
excellent. Oh, so when David said that him being on video would not be a good idea, Ken Reichert says, "Is David Ladd video ever a good idea?"
You guys are just mean.
No, he's just jealous.
Yeah, there you go.
He's jealous of your rugged facial hair.
How's Steve Bjork's health doing? You doing all right, Steve?
I prefer not to discuss that here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just hoping you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good is good. Yeah. So I'm happy you guys got to make it. I'm sad I didn't get to go, but it sounds like it was a good show, and we'll be able to talk about it a lot next week. We'll have a VCF wrap-up show, I guess, or something, huh?
Yeah,
VCF
like a good plan.
Yes.
Were there any CoCo presentations at that VCF?
There were no CoCo presentations, but the CoCo was definitely well represented. They had probably about 6-7 tables.
Okay.
With CoCo stuff on it. Glenside was there, Neil Blanchard, and a few other people, and then plus and Steve Bjork. This is for you. Yes, there was an MC10 there. It was it was hidden. It was very well hidden. In fact, if it wasn't for Nick catching it here yesterday when I was doing the stream on Zoom, I would never have guessed it was there. So
I guess it was kind of like nearby a door.
It was mixed in with the Ataris of all things. Which I didn't quite understand that, but yeah, it was hidden. It was kind of hidden with all the Ataris.
It was lost.
Yes, exactly. It was definitely lost.
Yep, I set up a table on Sunday because Tony wasn't there, so I brought my MC10. So the show technically had 2.
Ooh.
Well, I guess the MC10's okay as long as it's a stepping stone, literally stepping on it to get to a CoCo.
Well, it was more of a display piece because I didn't have it running.
And David Ladd, didn't you say there was a dragon there too?
Well, it was one that was for sale, but unfortunately he wanted too much.
Okay.
Was it a Tano US dragon or was it a UK dragon?
Yeah. Okay.
Now, do they have one area where you can put things up for sale, like a consignment table, and you just leave stuff there and people will try to buy it?
That I don't know.
I didn't see anything like that.
No, okay, because I remember there was on the Facebook event there was a thread going about if you wants and needs and things you want to sell or buy when you get there. So I thought there were people who would bring things that they wanted to sell, that they wanted to unload from their collection.
Well, I would think though there was the 2 side rooms because I saw a lot of that going on in those 2 side rooms.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could buy a table and sell stuff. Whether they let them do that for free or on consignment, I have no idea.
The tables were free. You didn't have to pay for a table.
Okay.
The VCF organization itself is very careful that they don't want their conventions to turn into flea markets. So the only sales from tables on the normal floor are big established vendors, and everyone else has to sell through the side rooms.
Okay.
But do keep in mind that the VCF Midwest, and I wish Jim Brain was here to explain this, is apparently a separate entity that's not actually ran by the VCF. It was kind of grandfathered in, as the way I understood it.
So early on, they were really good about letting whoever wanted to be a VCF just kind of be it. Now they have sort of different leadership, and they're wanting to centralize more things, but they're grandfathering in any of the existing established VCFs and letting them do their thing. So I think VCF Southeast and VCF Midwest are in that category, as well as a VCF in Europe.
Oh, cool. I didn't know there was one in Europe. But yeah, I do think those side rooms, though, were mainly the flea market types of stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Which you'll see those in the videos because I got quite a bit of that too. So
yeah, cool. Yeah, maybe when we do it, hopefully we can get Jim too, because Jim's a little bit more experienced at the rodeo. He can maybe tell us a little bit more about what the different areas were and stuff. Yeah, that's cool. So how did Jim do? Did he have a nice little setup there?
Yeah, he did very well. I think he was very busy.
Yeah, I saw him posting something too about how his daughter would be selling the cookies and brownies again, and
she sold out of brownies on the first day.
Yeah.
She was probably busier than he was.
Yeah, some of those guys must have had the munchies.
Oh, they definitely did. So, Dave, did you have a good time?
Indeed, I did.
What was your favorite thing?
Was it snuggling with Grant?
No, God, no. He was actually he was a very good roommate. I will give him credit.
Yeah.
And so was Grant. He didn't kill me.
Tempting though, right?
No, he was very good. I was very wouldn't say surprised, but no, I'm more the type of person like to have a room to myself, so I can do come and go as I please. I don't have to worry about waking anybody else up. But no, he was great. So
there you have it.
But no, it was a good time.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, I know I had put out earlier feelers yesterday saying, hey, do you guys want to get together tonight? And then I didn't hear anything, and I just went off in the living room, was watching TV and stuff. And by the time I saw the messages, hey, we're in Zoom, I'm like, oh, man, that was an hour ago. They're probably not there anymore. So, but you might have been, but from the sounds of it, you said you were doing like a 45-minute walkthrough.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that was good. I'm glad you guys got to see it.
Yeah, I tried to recreate it this morning. And I think David took some video as well. So hopefully we can all kind of mesh those together for the show coming up on Saturday. So
excellent,
guys. I'm gonna drop off. It's quite late here. I got to
work
tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
See you.
Buenas noches.
Take care.
Excellent. We've just reached just shortly past the hour mark. So for a show that wasn't planned and topics that we didn't even know, we've managed to do okay so far for an hour and 6 minutes.
David, did you tell everybody who you saw there? Your YouTube star?
Yeah.
Nick Marentes?
Unfortunately, in fact, that was one thing, that was no Popstar Pilot games playing there. So,
well, I missed my Florida Retro Club meeting yesterday too, but I saw some pictures from that, and somebody had a CoCo 3 with a mini MPI, and on it was the Nick Marentes Pac-Man. So there's a picture of that.
Cool.
Yeah. So
I think I know why Rick's was playing so much. It's because it was on a ROM cartridge.
Yeah, you're right. That is true.
They just slapped it in the side and away they went, right?
Exactly. Yep, that is true.
ROM cartridge.
Did you guys see it was 41 years ago that the Atari 2600 was born?
Yeah. There's something about that up on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's old as my wife at this point.
Well, the 6809 is 40 years too, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
In fact, somebody, maybe, I don't remember who, but he had a 6809, kind of an audio book / manual, which was really cool.
Yeah, this is a few tables down from where you were, so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was
that who was running
Barden's cassettes on assembly language programming or something?
Yeah, it was like. Well, I don't remember who the author was.
Well, Dennis Kitts had done something.
Well, Kitts,
actually, I think I did take a picture of it. Let me see. I can find my...
Kid says those brownies at Coco Fest were good.
Yeah, so what have we learned about all of this weekend? One thing I realized is that we need a third party that we can have to possibly stream, because Grant's kind of my backup, and Grant was out of home. I was just kind of not really that able. And so if we could have done a live stream of Grant's walkthrough of VCF last night, that would have been great, but we just weren't set up for that. So I definitely want to reach out and see who's, got some flexibility, because sometimes it might even be a last minute thing, but to be able to, do the actual hosting and streaming the content.
Who has good bandwidth?
Yeah, I'm not sure I do.
Wasn't it an issue of Grant? Didn't you just need a password for the Zoom account or something, and you could have done it?
Well, we were trying to record the Zoom, so therefore we could record it and then turn around and put it back up on the show at a later time.
I can get, since I've got the paid account, I can give you that. But again, that wouldn't have helped you last night because I was
You're right.
Out of it. So yeah, we need to come up with a little checklist, right, of a few things. So getting you access to Zoom, to the pro version of Zoom, one or more outlets for being able to, kind of publish live streams for us, which requires decent bandwidth and a decent PC because the software is kind of heavy on CPU and GPU to do the video decoding and stuff. So, not everybody's going to have that. And I was even thinking before that if whoever this person was, like Curtis might be a candidate, but his schedule's so busy. But, since Curtis runs on a Mac, but we could probably set up something in OBS, just a modified version of the broadcast scenes. It probably wouldn't have all the scenes and all the fancy features, but we could do something. And OBS is free, and it runs on Mac and Linux and stuff too. So I don't want to say you have to have Windows, because if that's a deal breaker for somebody who's got the bandwidth and the good computer, then there's other options.
Yeah, my problem would be schedule. I have everything else that would work, but my schedule on the weekends is pretty full.
Yeah, no, I get it. So we'll put out some feelers, and we just really need to have somebody who's that we can throw in the mix and maybe possibly pre-planned something,
Yeah, how's Bruce Moore's bandwidth? You got good bandwidth up there?
Well, it's I bounce around from providers, so it's usually good. I am running a Mac though.
Yeah, well, we could set something up with OBS probably.
I'm sure they have at least 2 moose running his hard drives back and forth.
Yeah. Putting all the data in a bucket of maple syrup.
I could probably be one of the tier backups. I've got optical for the internet here, and with plenty of upload in addition to the download.
Yeah,
cool.
which is the important part.
Google, the Google optical thing, or was that something else, Steve?
Fios.
Okay.
Oh, he's got Fios. That's about as good as Google Fiber. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's bandwidth.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm around quite a bit. Question is, am I around good enough quite a bit?
Right. Well, just to have you in the rotation as a backup would be good.
Yeah, because it's very uncommon for Stevie and I both to be out at the same time, but it has happened a couple times. So, but yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So a couple of second and third tier broadcast channels would be good to have.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys hook into TV, CoCo TV?
It's all when that's going to happen, I can set up the multi-stream for it. So Roger has his set up on a schedule. So his schedule is set up to match our usual Saturday 2:00 schedule. And I just set up the software on my end for my multi-stream to include his server's information as part of the whole configuration. So that would have to be prearranged on my end. But something like last night, it wouldn't have made it to CoCo TV anyways, because Roger only receives at certain times.
Okay.
And I mean, nothing against the CoCo TV channel, but that's less of a concern of this than just having the show, because once the show is done, I can send him the video files for replays anyway. So I wouldn't want to let that one more layer of complexity be added to this, But on a normal Saturday, it would automatically go to him, because I would have this stuff.
Pretty cool that works at all.
Yeah, no, it is. But I mean, lately Restream has been giving me a lot of issues, and so just using it and trying to use their multi-chat client, which is what I depend on when I stream the more than one channel, so I can see if texts are coming in, chats are coming in from like Mixer or YouTube or Facebook or whatever. So that multi-chat client's been really buggy and problematic. Their website every now and then just doesn't load, so I might just have to stop using them and just. I mean, being able to multi-stream was a nice luxury, but I don't think it didn't make or break the show. It was just value added,
Yeah, that's true.
I'm getting a DEF CON level on that. What did you just say? That sounds pretty complicated.
I'm sorry, Bruce. Let's go out and about and we'll talk about it. DEF CON. We all got to worry about the DEF CON.
Like that?
Is that? No, it's just a generic Canadian thing. Sorry. Sorry.
I think it's an East Coast thing.
We're sorry.
Oh, just saying sorry at all. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about
that. Apology accepted. Well,
how's Ron?
How is Ron?
How's Ron doing?
I'm
Ron
fine.
Delvo.
I'm good. Yeah. Nothing much happening. Pulling my stuff out and going through it and playing with it. And I got to go in the garage sometime and reorganize everything because it's all just kind of stacked together. And
Ron's garage.
Fun. It's just so hot out right now. I can't do anything. It's extremely hot out here. It was 109 yesterday.
It's almost fall. It should be cooling off for you guys.
Not yet.
Yeah, well, his high is sitting over his area, which keeps him hot.
Crazy.
Was it hot for you, Steve?
No.
It's been pleasant here.
Has it?
Oh, yeah. We got the ocean cooling us down.
We got a couple of double-digit days coming soon.
Wow.
Triples right now.
Looking forward to those double digits, huh?
It's right now. It's 7:00 at night and it's 100 out.
Oh my God, that's insane. That is absolutely insane.
It's good.
I forgot you guys are on Fahrenheit for a second. When you said triple, I said what? Oh yeah.
Good old Fahrenheit.
Yeah, Fahrenheit. Yeah.
And miles and feet.
Yeah, yeah. I think I might have mentioned this briefly last week on the After Dark, but I definitely want to commend you guys on last week's show Saturday because I had to leave, and Grant did a great job hosting it, and you guys had great discussions going on, and it's nice to know that the show continues to happen, and it's like this, the fact I couldn't do it this Saturday, and I really couldn't even really notify too many people other than Discord. So the people who just tune in to Facebook, they don't know. They're just, or not Facebook, whatever, YouTube. Right? So the people who come to YouTube, they're just expecting to see the show. So, and I didn't have a lot of time to notify anybody there wasn't going to be a show. So the fact you guys continued the show last week is great. And so, we have Grant as our primary backup. We need some secondary and tertiary backups for being able to continue the broadcast because the show should go on. Not that it must go on, but it should go on.
Yeah, I think Steve Bjork would be a great backup for both of us. So that'd be if he's able to do it, and I think he'd be a good commentator.
Well, if you can stand somebody from California.
Hey, I listen to Leo Report all the time, so yeah, I can.
All right.
Yeah, but he'll change all the music to surfer music if we don't do it.
Just don't play Kokomo too much.
Oh, come on. I loved it when I roadied for the band and they were playing that.
Hey, I like Kokomo. I was just giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
Steve Bjork's going to have a Hawaiian shirt mandatory whenever he's streaming. So
You should have come to VCF, Steve. They had a Epic's California Games VHS board game there.
Mm-hmm. Well, what type of shirt did I wear at the CoCo Fest?
You had
what type of shirt did I wear at the last CoCo Fest I went to?
Hawaiian.
At Hawaiian. If I show up to a convention, I'm not wearing a Hawaiian shirt, people think something's wrong. I go to holiday get-togethers, and I decide for once not to wear a Hawaiian shirt. What's wrong, Steve?
It's become your trademark, huh?
Yeah, it literally has. Literally has become that. I mean, I used to be a surfer back in the days. I roadied for Beach Boys, what was left of Jan Dean after the accident, and Papa Do Run Run. Mostly I was a sound engineer when they would play in Southern California. So I definitely fit the mold.
Were you responsible for them trying to lip sync after the accident? Were you trying to help them do that?
I will tell you a funny story. After the accident, that one member, he wasn't much above a 5 or 6 year old as far as his ability to think. I mean, he really had some brain damage, and he would start having his problems where he couldn't sing along to the song. He would kind of pretend a little bit, or he'd be out of key. Well, us as sound engineers was take his microphone and move him farther back. And eventually, at some point, he was back behind the drummer. He didn't like that. So he would work harder to make sure that the songs came out better out of him. But it was the way that we kind of taught him. Either you sing right or you get moved further and further back. And that was Jan and Dean playing with Papa Do Run Run, because they managed Jan and Dean. I mean, Jan and Dean managed Papa Do Run Run. Papa Do Run Run's a cover band out of Santa Cruz. Does Beach Boy and Jan and Dean and all the other surfer music. And they're still performing. After 40 years, they're still performing.
Just like the CoCo.
Yep.
Maybe there's a lesson to be learned here, Stevie. If someone's, talking smack, you just start moving them further and further away.
Moving them back, huh?
Lowering the volume. Just lower that volume more and more.
Hey, Ron Delvaux, Dave Phillipson wants to know how you can wear that beard with your 100-some-odd degree weather in Arizona.
But I have channels of moisture that go down through.
Channels of moisture, huh? Those tears.
No. Sweat. Yep. So it works.
He sweats through it, Dave. Hopefully that answered your question. So this just in, Ron Delvaux sweats when it's hot.
Yeah.
Film at 11.
It helps get the sun off his face.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of yard work, and the sun's killing me, man.
You got to be careful. You wind up getting little spots removed from your face or your neck or arms or something. What happens when you get older?
So I guess the next show will be Tandy Assembly. Is coming up next.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully I can make that one.
It'll be closer for you.
Yeah.
I set up a Laserdisc player here at VCF, and everybody loved it. Makes me want to bring it to Tandy Fest, but I don't know if the theme really fits.
Yeah, it would.
Okay.
Play
retro
music.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll talk to Linville or whoever is running. I don't remember who's running.
You have the laser set up to be controlled from a CoCo?
No.
Oh.
That would be interesting.
There's a number of Laserdisc players out there that have a serial interface that should be close to trivial to hook up to a CoCo.
I wouldn't be surprised if this has one. I haven't looked.
I did have one Laserdisc player that has serial input. I had one of the discs from Dragon Slayer. The Laserdisc game that was made. And I did get a CoCo to selectively play different scenes.
That's
cool.
Didn't go as far as actually sitting down and writing the game together with the joystick so you could have the CoCo doing Dragon's Lair, but it was a little fun project.
Right. Hey, Ken's asking if it was a realistic Laserdisc or Optimus.
Wasn't there a multimedia player that had OS9 controller or something, or maybe a 6809 in it?
Was that CDI or something?
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, that was CDI.
CD Interactive.
Well, what did it have? Which? An OS9 or just the processor?
Well, it has 68,070 processor.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was another good thing too. I got to see Neil Blanchard's Tandy Sensation. That was a treat.
Oh.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw that. That was really cool.
What is that?
Yeah.
The Sensation is one of the last Tandy PC clones. It was their multimedia PC2 standard PC.
I believe it's also their last one before they went to the tower format too. So yeah, it was definitely a treat to see that. That was a very good machine.
I'd be interested in getting one, but the couple that are on eBay right now are both over $1,000, and that seems a little bit much.
Yeah, and that's what Neil started. I think was about 1,000. I think he got him knocked down a little bit, so which was good. And just to let you know too, Stevie, the auction went on for 4 hours.
Oh,
yeah, that's a little bit redonkulous.
Yeah, they had a lot of stuff.
I picked up a 16K expansion for the MC10.
Neat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In the auction?
In the auction. I don't know who donated it because he didn't say he missed that part.
He was hiding in shame.
Could have been. Maybe it was Steve. I don't know.
And what did you get it for? What was the final bid?
Some guy in sunglasses and a Hawaiian shirt in the back, right?
I paid about $25 for it.
Okay, not bad.
Might have been.
Ken says the 4-hour auction. Oh, so it was shorter than CoCo Fest, but CoCo Fest was at least spread over 2 days, right? So
true, that's true.
You guys
I picked up a Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego sealed in a box, new and sealed for the CoCo. I did pick that up for $5.
That was at the auction?
No, I got this from Neil Blanchard.
Oh, no.
That's crazy because wasn't Ron was just had that running on his computer there a minute ago.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What are you trying to show us there, Ron?
Did you guys ever see this back in the 90s? They had this is a USB by GE adapter.
Voice recorder?
And no, it's just a USB 4-port.
Okay, like a passive hub.
Yeah.
Oh,
and and the cord fits into the thing. You can throw it in your cases.
Like a little portable hub.
Yeah.
they were kind of dime a dozen.
Yeah. But in a pinch, it was nice to have.
Yeah, that's neat.
MP3 player that looked a lot like that.
Oh yeah.
As a yearly morale gift at work.
Yearly. I'm surprised working for Microsoft they didn't give you a Zune.
Zune didn't exist at that time. Zune was another year out.
Okay. The product that should have never been made.
Was that the one that was the brown looking thing?
Yeah.
Superior
it was much more attractive in person than in pictures, but the Zune was actually a great device. And by the time they got to the Zune HD, they probably could have gotten a good year and a half of sales out of it. But MP3 players were all dying, so Microsoft just dropped out. They were late to get in, and once they had a competitive product, it was time to get out. And yeah it was a whole mess. The Zunes were all incredibly decent MP3 players, but Apple had already done their thing and they were already good and people knew to use them. So it didn't matter who you were trying to get into the market at that point. You weren't going to succeed.
My aunt still uses hers. She loves it. It just plugs in. She copies her stuff over. No iTunes, no nothing.
Yeah, my mom loved her Zune until the battery in it went to crap.
Yeah, she replaced mine. My aunt replaced hers.
You know what I really wish Microsoft would have gotten behind? And they just didn't. If they would have gotten behind HD DVD, because they were partnered in it, but they were
behind it.
Yeah,
there was no help for it. Too many movie studios went to the other side, and once that happened, it was just over.
Well, that's because Sony kept spending their money to convince them to go over.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the case. But it was one of those things where they were neck and neck, and then like 3 or 4 movie studios flipped in a couple of days, and
No,
that was
I think
the end.
Walmart flipped at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I worked on the development of the DVD player, and everybody, of course, was working together. Now, Sony had sour grapes over the fact that they couldn't control the format. And it was all about what format could they control. It was going back to the Betamax days. They were pissed that they lost out on the VHS tapes. So they saw with DVD they couldn't. So they came up with their own media format when they wanted to go high def. Remember, DVD was standard def.
Mm-hmm.
And now HD DVD could be manufactured on the same equipment as DVDs. And that was its real strength. So it was generally a lot cheaper to make an HD DVD. But what Sony did is they cut deals like crazy. And people like Disney, they could get a 10-year contract out of Sony where the licensing fee practically didn't exist. It was cheap. And that is what convinced people like Disney to go Blu-ray. Also, Blu-ray was twice the density over HD DVD.
Yeah, 50 gigs versus 30 gigs or whatever it was. Yeah.
And so you could definitely have a longer movie, more effects, more this, more that. But it was just Sony just discounting the crap out of it, made sure that their thing became the standard. And that's the reason why the people behind HDVD were so upset, because the only way they could beat Sony was to give it away for free for the next decade or two. And at that point, you're not paying for even the development.
Right.
So it just Sony.
And actually, this is the first time Sony's ever won a format war, because every format they've tried to push on us, nobody's bought.
Oh, remember the little SD cards that they tried
their
to
little memory duo cards, and they had the micro CD recordable that didn't take off. Betamax didn't take off. So they've had a lot of failed formats. That interesting. The thing that I thought, and this is just my somewhat recollection and whatever, but I think one of the things that Sony did that was very smart was putting the Blu-ray player into the PS3, because at that time the PS3 was $500 and so was the average Blu-ray player. So anybody who bought a game console got a Blu-ray player. Some people bought the PS3 just because it was a Blu-ray player. Actually, the graphics chip was a better upscaler in the PS3 at the time for like upscaling stuff. So if Microsoft had done that with the Xbox 360, because there was a time they had released the Xbox 360 Elite. It was a black console. It had a 100 gigabyte hard drive instead of a 20 gig and HDMI out. It was like their high-end Cadillac Xbox 360. If they had bundled that with the HD DVD, kind of like what Sony did, that may have made it more compelling. Possibly. I don't know. But maybe these other deals you're talking about, which I didn't know about, would have sealed their fate anyways.
Yeah. Well, look at the PS2. That was basically the cheapest DVD player when it first came out. That's another reason why the DVD format took off.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, there's some definite tie back there to Sony. Now, Sony had been doing this a few years later when they got into all those financial troubles after their information got hacked. They wouldn't have been able to work out those deals.
Right, because then there would be too much concern about security and stuff like that, yeah.
Well, also, they wouldn't have the money to do the deals either.
Yeah.
So it's just the right time and like that.
Yeah, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Well, see, one of the things that makes the Blu-ray player so efficient as far as data storage, typically a DVD, CD, they work where in between the actual data that's on the disc, on either side is a line that allows it to do the tracking. Well, they figured out a way to make the data also be the line for tracking of the other element. So all the guidelines on a Blu-ray are also the data lines. So they were able to effectively just double the data by doing that trick. So I have to admit there were certain advantages of it, but all my good friends that worked on DVD were behind HDVD, and I felt sorry for them.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a time when both formats existed, you could buy a deck that would have both of them in it. So it was an HD and Blu-ray in one deck and stuff, just kind of cover both bases. It was an interesting time. I got mine when they finally went on clearance. So I got one for the Xbox 360. When it first released, I think it was a $200 peripheral.
Mm-hmm.
And after they discontinued it, I think I got it for $50. And then there was a mail-in coupon where you got like 5 movies with the purchase of your thing. So I've got like 5 HD DVDs. I think the one that came with it was King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong, and then I think you got to choose like 5 more. So yeah, I've got a small collection, and I played them.
I
And
bought in on that same deal.
yeah. So I got it for $50 at Circuit City. May they rest in peace. And
They're here in Canada.
Yeah.
They moved to Canada, took over Radio Shack here.
Yeah, it's neat. There were some things that HD DVD did out of the box that Blu-ray wouldn't adopt till later, like a lot of the picture-in-picture stuff, online connectivity. There's pretty advanced features in the menus and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. But as we know now, Blu-ray is the standard with Blu-ray 4K and whatever their Blu-ray is going to be next week. So,
yeah, the consortium, once in a while, they've been thinking about trying to come up with a new standard for the full HDR 4K type of standard. But really, the thing is nowadays it's all about download and streaming.
Yeah, digital.
I mean, I never thought DVD would get replaced as fast as it did. Not just because of Blu-ray or HD DVD, but just because of streaming.
Yeah. Yeah, for a while I used to rent and rip from Netflix. You got the 2 in the mail, and then you put it when Netflix was mailing you the two Blu-rays each month or whenever it was. So, or even before Blu, just DVDs. I would rent them, rip them, and then send them back.
Yeah, I have to admit, I've got quite a collection of DVDs, but I'm so used to streaming.
Yeah.
It's like, do I want to get up and go to the cabinet that's got the physical disc and put it into my player
and get it scratched?
That's a lot of work, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I gotta open the box. I gotta snap it open and pop it off of the center ring holder and all that stuff.
I just don't want to give up the space it takes to store them in.
Need to call the ambulance.
Yeah, the ambulance. Yeah. It's digital distribution is the way to go now.
Steve, do you still have your collection of downloaded movies?
Yeah, they're all on a hard drive. I've had like a movie server at home for 10, 15 years and stuff. It's just to rent and rip, and I stream them through HDL. What do they call it? HDLA and Universal Plug and Play. So I can stream a movie anywhere in my house to any smart TV or game console or whatever else.
Cool.
Yeah.
But the thing is, back in the day, I remember there was movies I'd watch them over and over again. Not anymore. It's like, do I really want to see King Kong again?
Ken says that we have not mentioned Nick Marotta once. Yeah, we're going on an hour and 40 minutes. We haven't. Well, Nick Marotta's not here though. He's not in the stream. But yeah, Nick Marotta. There we go. We just mentioned him.
If I could get a service that just had all of the movies and TV that's out, that I could just pick whatever I wanted to watch, I'd probably pay $100 a month for that. And that's 100 times more than I would pay on movies otherwise. Just have a service that had anything I wanted to watch on it.
And that'll never happen because everybody's making deals.
Oh, exactly. And they have this strange idea that they can get more than $100 a month out of me by not providing it.
Yeah. Well, we've cut the cord on cable. I've been cableless for probably 3 or 4 months now. I don't miss it. I know my wife does, especially now that it's football season. But I don't miss not having cable.
I cut the cord on cable, but then Comcast reattached it by giving it to me free with my internet.
Okay. Free is good.
I wouldn't pay, or I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't take it for free because you still got to watch all the ads. I mean, you're still buying it.
And nobody said I watch it. About the only thing I watch is the football games.
Yeah, the problem with streaming services now is it's becoming way too fragmented, and everybody's trying to get their own right now. So, for Netflix has been kind of the market leader, but then Amazon Prime's got Prime Video, then you've got Hulu. Now there's CBS All Access. We know Disney's getting ready to start a streaming service. DC Universe is going to be starting a streaming service with just all DC content and exclusive content. The problem is each one of these things you're looking at an average of $10 to $15 a month for a streaming service, and none of them have everything that the other ones don't have. There's big holes in the content, so if you want it all, you're going to be paying well over $100 a month.
And the smaller any individual service shrinks their catalog, the less value they provide, and the less likely they are to succeed.
Well, let's see in the group. Does anybody have CBS All Access?
Negative.
I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah, I'm. See, for me, the worst thing that happened was CBS and Paramount split, and then they decided to split Star Trek. Yeah. Each owns different rights to it. That's the reason why all the stuff is so bad and why they have to do Kelvin timeline and this timeline and Klingons are redesigned. It's all because who owns the rights to what? And there is talk about them merging back again, and that could actually be the best thing for Star Trek.
I was going to watch Star Trek Discovery, but because it was on, sequestered to that, I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I watched the first 45 minutes when they put it on CBS over the air. And that's all I could get through was the first 45 minutes. I couldn't watch the rest of the first episode. So that told me I'm not going to pay, the money a month for the show.
Yeah, I watched a lot of it. I mean, I'm not proud to say this, but there are places on the internet where you can see just about anything and not have to pay for it. So I saw it on one of those. So I've watched several of those episodes, and it was a decent series. It's good. I mean, I wouldn't pay for it. I mean, like right now, I am so Star Trek entrenched right now with Netflix. I watched all of the Next Generation. I'm now going through the original series, and I've got Deep Space Nine. My wife's ahead of me. She's on Voyager, but there's so much Star Trek content that's good content already on Netflix that's going to keep me busy for quite some time.
Just go back to the original timeline and show me new stories based on that.
Yeah.
I mean, even Enterprise, which started off not very good, towards the end actually got to be a decent show, especially when they decided to do the dark mirror flip versions where they're in that alternate universe and everybody was evil. That was at the very end of Enterprise, and that was really
okay.
And even the last year was really good on that show, but then they canceled it. You see, the first year they're finding their place. The second year they're getting better. The third year they really start to get things together.
Right.
And that's just how series runs.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that even with the Next Generation, at least the first two episodes were probably my least favorite episodes. Although just introducing Q was great, but the actors didn't really gel until like season 2. That's when everybody kind of hit their stride.
I hate to say it, some people say Star Trek Next Generation got better after Roddenberry passed away.
It's hard to say. I don't know.
Yeah, they say it was just he had a little bit too much control over it.
Okay. Yeah, it ended up being a good series. I'm surprised how many I missed. I thought I had saw a decent number. I didn't catch it until it was already in syndication, so I was watching like on the Sci-Fi Channel on the weekends and stuff, and I thought I had saw a lot of episodes, but going through all 7 seasons, I might have maybe seen a half a dozen episodes during the time it was on TV,
Well, there is talk that Patrick Stewart's going to star in a Picard series.
Yeah, it's another one on CBS All Access. Yeah, that's the next one.
And another one I'll miss out on.
Yeah, one I just won't pay for it. So, It's unfortunate. Okay, so welcome to Star Trek Talk.
Yeah.
We always end up here.
Have any of you guys talked about the third-party people or the independent people that have made their shows?
Talking about like fan films and stuff?
Yeah, some of them have been pretty decent.
Yeah,
Yes.
but they've all of a sudden, because of the split between CBS and Paramount,
Yeah.
there's restrictions. For example, if you star in a Star Trek series, you're not allowed to do the fan fiction stuff.
Yeah, the fan fiction had some pretty critical losses in court in the last 5 or so years as well.
Yeah. It can't be over 15 minutes. It can't be this. It can't be that. I mean, they really cramped down on it.
Yeah. Star Trek Continues was pretty good. I didn't finish watching it, but I enjoyed it. I thought that was a pretty good homage to the original series.
Yeah, they felt that was causing too much competition for the TV and movie series. So it's just like, as I said, the split of Paramount and CBS really ruined Star Trek.
They probably could have made more money by just hiring that whole crew and putting out their series rather than spending that money in court.
Right.
Yep. But see, there's producers at Paramount that sit there and worry about their job. If these guys that do it on a shoestring budget are able to produce something better.
Yeah.
Well,
the irony
I don't
of it
feel
all.
bad for those producers.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're trying to keep their job.
Oh, I understand that. I have to put people out of a job in my day job fairly frequently, and I know the pain that they have. But a lot of times it's still the right choice for the overseeing company to do that and get things done more efficiently. And if those producers were smart, they would figure out how to attach themselves to the new thing and get some credit for it while still doing the same nothing they always did.
Well, look at the
Keyword there.
look at the Fantastic Four movies. Each time they come out with a new one, it's worse and worse and worse. And they would sit there and say, well, they have to keep coming out with the movies or else the licenses revert back to Marvel. So, they come up with something just so they don't lose the license. And that just doesn't make any sense until you realize what happens if the license reverts back to Marvel and Disney comes out with a killer Fantastic Four film. You've just turned...
Disney really wants to do that, too.
Yeah, well, you've just turned over a money-making license to Disney. And that's not good for your studio because Disney's making the money off the license. You're not making money in the box office because of that movie. Guess who gets fired over that?
Right.
So, I mean, how many people saw the one from a few years ago?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah, I tried watching it on one of the free internet sites and I fell asleep.
Yeah, it was, it had as much to do with the Fantastic Four as if somebody went out and did a movie on the Great Gatsby, in my opinion. It was just absolute garbage. But that's the thing is, you got these studios that have these people that don't want to lose their jobs.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the only Marvel movie, too, that Stan Lee did not do a cameo in because he's got a cameo in everything. And I think even he knew it was going to be a shit show, so he just didn't want to be on the flypaper for that one.
Well,
he probably didn't want to pay him.
Well, the two earlier ones, they did put him in.
Yeah, he was in
one of them. He was a postman for the Baxter Building.
Yeah.
So it was.
This is the only one he wasn't.
Yeah.
The sad thing about the Fantastic Four is like they have, over 40 years of stories to draw on, and they have to come up with some original spin on it that sucks.
Yeah.
Right. And so Ken Reichert's also mentioning the Roger Corman's Fantastic Four movie, the one that was made that nobody saw, because that was also to keep the license, right? So
yeah. Oh God, that one there was terrible, but not as terrible as the one they did back a few years ago.
Yeah. Right.
at least you had the Thing looking like the Thing and acting like the Thing.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you guys think of Aliens, and all the other ones? I loved Alien. I thought it was cool.
I think the first two, I think they should have probably ended it at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought problem was they made too much money, so they couldn't.
Yeah. Aliens 3 was okay, but it really, I don't think it.
2 was the one.
Two. I mean, because 2 was great because it added, you had what's his face, Bill Paxton with all the comedic value. Game over, man. Game over. Yeah.
Come in. Kill us in it.
Yeah. But the
great action.
What are you talking about this for?
The first one was just, the suspense. You didn't know what the Alien was. It was they were very different movies, but the third one was, I thought the third one was trash and it got worse as it went on.
Yeah, the fourth one was kind of interesting. What I did like about the fourth one was seeing how they kept trying to clone her and reclone her and all the failed clone experiments. So you had like that science lab of bad clone projects. I thought that scene was kind of cool. And that one, I think Aliens 4 redeemed Aliens 3 to a degree anyway. So Ron Perlman was in it, so that was kind of good. There wasn't any more after that other than like all the prequels. I have not been a fan of the prequels. The Prometheus and the other one, just not a fan of those.
Yeah.
When 2001 came out and then 2010 came out, 2010 was kind of terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a letdown.
Compared to,
They changed the genre. They made it more action instead of the...
Well, they made it more like a modern movie.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and it didn't...
Well, actually, 2001 seemed like...
a futuristic movie for its time.
Futurism sort of thing, yeah.
Cerebral.
Right.
Yeah.
More cerebral.
You started out with the whole airliner type of thing with the stewardess walking around with the magnetic boots and stuff, and it was all this new stuff of how we were going to go into space, and they just totally. Now we've got magic gravity and all this other stuff, and that's what we're going with for the.
Didn't they super deviate from the book at that point as well?
Well, as far as the magic gravity go, that was from the fact the ship was rotating, so that wasn't that magic.
Well, you're right. They had the new ship; it had the rotating part on it too. Yeah.
Because they did have, when you're in the center of the ship, that's when you had zero gravity.
Yeah, that's right.
But but that's the thing is when you try and do. I mean, look what happened with Independence Day. That was a decent film.
Yep. Yeah.
The remake, it's kind of like, well, the director phoned it in.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem with 2010 was more the whole U.S. and Russia war thing that they had going on, and it was a statement. I don't know. It's kind of as much a political statement as anything.
Because we were still in the Cold War at the time.
The movie was the sequel was nothing like the original. I mean, it was too.
Well, the main emphasis of the movie was to have the exclamation point at the end where, trust me, guys, your little squabbles here on Earth are not really part of the big picture out here in the universe. Get over yourselves. That was the main goal of the film. You look up in the star and you saw two suns, and you realize there was somebody much bigger than you guys way out there in the universe.
Yeah.
Get over yourselves.
Yeah, and what was it? The whole Hal thing, the explanation of why Hal went and started killing people is like I just never bought into it.
Those are things best left unexplained.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like
I
it.
want to go watch that show now. Now you got me.
Well,
Open the pod bay
It's
door.
kind of
Hal.
a tough one to get through. The sequel, anyway. The original is of course.
Well, they did write a sequel book called 3000.
I read 3001. I read that one. That was kind of interesting, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, now we actually make contact with that life form that's in the obelisk.
and the monolith thing.
Yeah.
You know the guy that Hal pulled his air hose and he went flying off into space. You know that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Poole or whatever the actor was?
Mm-hmm.
He's the one in 3001. They find him, and he's suspended animation, and they managed to revive him.
Oh, cool.
The main
Spoiler
character.
alert.
You know, well, it's the beginning of the book. It's 1,000 years later.
Yeah.
One thing I thought that was really neat was he's trying to reorient himself to everything, and he's going around to these engineers trying to ask them how stuff works, and they don't know. And he's like, "Well, what about this?" And I said, "We don't know. We just pull that part out and replace it." And he's like, "You guys are engineers. You don't understand how any of this works." You know?
Well, that's the way engineers are now. It's just pull a board and replace it.
Yeah, exactly. And he was just, that was one of his things. Is like, man, like, what do you do if something really goes wrong here? Nobody knows.
Did you guys like Forbidden Planet with Leslie Nielsen?
Oh no.
Hey, Ken Reichert has the answer to Hal. Why did Hal go high wire? He says because he had a 6502 in him. So.
It was an overflow.
No. Oh Lord.
8 bits wasn't enough.
We've definitely crossed over into sci-fi talk, and that's not a bad thing.
I've got to go. Dinner's ready.
All right, yeah, we're
later.
All right, well, hey, this was good. Good show. We're coming up on 2 hours, so not bad, not bad. Thanks, Steve. Good to have you.
Good night, all.
Bye.
Yeah.
Always got to leave the audience wanting a little bit more. We can't give them everything. We can't give you all the show. We're going to give you most of the show. We won't give you all the show.
I posted links to the Apple II GS and Atari 800 laptops.
Yeah. I saw them, and if that's okay, maybe we can save them for next week. I don't mind sitting here on my ass doing nothing, but if I have to start like clicking and switching screens, I'm just too freaking beat this weekend. You notice I haven't run a commercial. We haven't changed. We haven't done anything because I'm just drained. So
trust me, there's a lot of that going around.
Yeah. So we'll have something to talk because we need something to talk about next week, anyways, right? So. Because that'll fit in because we're going to probably do the whole VCF West, Midwest, follow up because we're going to have videos and pictures and all kinds of stuff. So maybe we can just make it all part of that if that's okay.
That sounds fine to me.
Oh, is he back? I saw David for a second. Sir David Ladd. Is he going to walk out in a towel saying, "You guys still here? Go home. It's over." Sir David Ladd, he muted himself.
So when you guys were young, did you have a encyclopedia at home with all the volumes, or
the Encyclopedia Britannica?
Or later, did you have it on disc, on CD?
No.
I might have had one because whenever you bought a multimedia kit, it usually came with some bundled software.
Right.
So
like Growlers or something.
Yeah, something like that. But honestly, I wasn't really that interested in those, so I probably didn't even look at them.
We had the books, and then I think it was a Growlers CD, and the Growlers CD was very abridged.
Yeah.
I noticed you had put up a picture of like a MS-DOS text-based version of a encyclopedia of all the windowing and stuff.
That was PC Link's demo. They had PC Link had a Growlers section that was updated a couple times a month or something. They said, and that was part of the $9.95 a month fee. You would get that service too. If your kids were doing homework and they wanted to look stuff up. Yeah. There was no Google then.
Yeah. There was a few that I did like on CD-ROM. Like some of them were like the interactive museums, and especially the ones with the dinosaurs, where you could like listen to sounds and watch little tiny video clips and computer animation models and stuff. So there was a handful of like ones I'd gotten for not only myself but for the kids that were, you know, by today's standards very antiquated, but like these virtual museums and virtual dinosaur tours and stuff.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I had the dinosaur one.
CD-ROMs. It's hard to imagine. My first CD-ROM system was actually on the Sega Genesis. I had the Sega CD. And even though the Genesis didn't have like what even a Windows 3.11 computer could do visually at the time, there was some pretty innovative stuff. Like one of the sample discs that came with the Sega CD was this Sherlock Holmes mystery. And it was all full motion video stuff.
Yeah, that was on the CD TV. That was my first experience with it.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of cool. Now, it was, you know, it was a little bit grainy and pixelated. I think the Genesis only can do 64 colors. But the one thing I did notice about that was it seemed like on a PC, the CD-ROM, every now and then it would halt. Like it would freeze as it was accessing content. Even like when you were streaming stuff, it seemed like there was always this halt on the CD-ROM drive. But on the Sega CD, there was never a halt. So anytime you switch scenes or switch anything, the video just went from video to video and never a delay, and it just always kind of streamed real well, you know?
Yeah, it seems to me that the project I worked on when we were doing PC stuff, that the operating system every now and then would choke.
Okay, that could be.
And it also depended on what speed CD you had.
Yeah, because the original ones were 1X, right? So
Right.
Yeah, we thought 4X was a big jump.
Oh, yeah. What are they now? It's insane.
Yeah, I helped work on an authoring system for CD back in the 1X days when you couldn't even, you had to buy Sony's or nothing. And when I was at Utah State University, and we were actually one of the first. I didn't actually do the coding, but we were one of the first to release a third-party system for it. And oh my word, they didn't have buffers back then. You overran the if you underran, I mean, the disk was gone, and you had to start over. So it was a nightmare.
Huh. Mikey just joined us in the live chat. It goes, joining the peanut gallery this time.
Yeah, I remember Kodak had a thing where you could send your film in, and they put it on a CD for you too. And they had, that was pretty cool.
That was almost like the scientific equivalent of magic. Like, how did they do that?
Yeah,
I sent them a little thing of film, and now I have this piece of plastic, and pictures are on it, and you know, outer space and aliens must have been involved.
Early on, when they were doing that, it was always fun to find out that your CD-ROM drive didn't support their proprietary format.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have that problem though.
The first CD-ROM burners were like $10,000 or something.
Jeez.
And we had one in our lab, and then they came out with the home ones. I think my first one was $700 with a SCSI interface.
Wow. Mikey says it was called the Photo CD. So is Photo CD like its own proprietary format? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Kodak Photo CD.
Yeah.
One of my friends in college got a CD burner, and we thought it was the greatest thing ever, and we had him burning all sorts of crap for us.
Yeah.
Did you pull a CD out after it burned it to smell it and see it? That's what I did.
I've never done that.
Yeah. I thought, you're burning an image in there, so it must smell a little bit or something. I was smelling the outside of the the box. Doesn't smell like it's burning.
You're probably taking that a little bit too literally there. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, David, are you with us? Or are you on perpetual mute, or what's going on there?
You know what else is cool is rewritables. Were neat.
Yeah. David Ladd.
Yes, I'm still here.
Hey, I heard through the grapevine that you may have gotten me a floppy drive while you're at VCF Midwest.
Yeah, but I don't know if it works or not.
Okay.
Or if it's high density or 360.
If anybody's qualified to do forensics on a floppy drive, I believe it's in great hands with you.
Well, at the moment, I'm trying to get my Commodore 64 working.
Ooh, is that a new acquisition?
No, it's my old one, but I got a power supply for it.
Ah.
And so far, yeah, the 64 is not feeling well.
Okay.
A lot of them come in that state.
Well, the last time it was used was 30 years ago.
So this is your own personal original unit.
Well, it was a hand-me-down, but yes,
okay.
It was my first.
But yeah, it's been with you. It's not like when you bought on eBay or anything.
No.
Gotcha.
But now I might have to have Jim's help.
Okay. Well, you're in good hands there too. So, cool.
You need a donor system to start doing chip swaps.
Yeah. Oh my God! Excuse me. So yeah, I think we should get ready to pull the plug on this. It's 11 o'clock my time. I'm getting a little bit loopy here. Eyes are starting to water.
Stevie's up past his bedtime.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad we got.
He's always loopy.
Yeah, that's true. No, I'm glad we got together, and nice to have you here, Scott. We don't get you on as often. James Diffendaffer, good to hear from you again. And we've had right now we got about 12 people watching us, which is not bad for an unplanned, unscheduled show. So thank you all in the live stream, Ken Reichert and Mikey, and who else? It's been mostly Ken. It's been the Ken comment show. Dave Phillipson was here. Dave Phillipson. Eric was here, and Eric was on the call. Eric's still on the call.
I'm here.
Tom C. was here, and Paco Otakte, who's on the call now. Drencor, David Ladd. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad we had I'm glad we have a show, even though this is really just like, dude, let's just pull it out of thin air type of show, and it's last minute on a Sunday. It's almost become a tradition doing this show, you know. And I know there's been a little bit of chatter going on in Discord that, well, maybe we should change the show to every other week so we don't burn out and this and that and the other. And I don't know, man, because I think Saturday, the fact that I couldn't tell anybody there wasn't a show, and the fact that there were people there waiting to see the show, even though it's a small audience, we've got a small but dedicated audience. I'm very grateful for what we've built and for the people who are here with us every week or along for the ride. And so I believe there is a moral imperative where this show should go on and this show should exist in some form, with very few exceptions, every week. And so what we just need is we need a couple more backups on the ability to actually do the broadcasting piece of this. So it looks like we have got Steve Bjork as a potential backup. Oh, it would be nice to have a few broadcasting, tricks up our sleeve, because, scheduling conflicts, family events, illnesses, other things. There's always going to be a time where at maybe the last minute, we need to pull an ace out of our sleeve. And so it'd be nice to start trying to get those things set up and tested, What is Mikey saying? Go ahead. Who's getting ready to talk?
You also don't necessarily have to have it at the same time. Sometimes you might be able to have a show on Sunday when there's, scheduling conflict and stuff.
Yeah. And usually we're pretty good at just deciding that throughout the week and communicating that. But this weekend, just a lot of things just, at the last minute. So at first I was saying, well, since I can't go to VCF, then let's have a show. And then I'm like, well, no, the Florida Retro Show is going to happen. So I want to go to the Florida Retro Show. So we won't have a show. And then when I wake up, I'm like, I'm not feeling that good. So I'm not going to drive down to that show. So maybe we can do a show. But, then I just wasn't feeling that good again. So Saturday was a crappy day for me. And Grant was my only backup, and he was out of town. So, but yeah, if we can manage to have a show every weekend, that would be great. And have a couple backup broadcasting stations ready to bring online would be a good thing to do. So we'll work on that, But yeah, we had a show, and we've been here flabbergasting filibustering for 2 hours already. So probably time to put a fork in it, right?
That's what she said.
Yeah. So what is Mikey saying? Were there any MC10 casualties to get that CoCo working again? Oh, Jason. Who's Jason saying? Ken says Jason got his original CoCo 2 sort of working again. Mikey's saying, was there any MC10 casualties? Ken says, we'll keep the door open.
Let's show one.
No MC10s were hurt in the filming of the.
Not at all. Not at all. In honor of Nick Marentes, I'll play the flush sound. Nick's not here. I really enjoyed listening to that CoreDUMP you guys had last weekend, talking about sprites and compiled sprites and masking and the getting into the philosophy of what motivates you to make a game and stuff. And actually, what I think is really interesting, it's kind of happening organically. I noticed that on the CoCo Crew podcast Facebook page, people are saying, you know what, last week on CoCoTALK, so-and-so mentioned this. This might be a good topic for you guys to discuss next month. So topics that are being brought up on our show might be future topics for their show, and as vice versa. Sometimes we can carry on those conversations. So that's kind of cool that this kind of cross-pollination is taking place, and we're not even having to, no paid endorsements were necessary. So, but yeah, I like that discussion of the philosophy. Oh, because I don't know if you guys were all heard. Speaking of that, and all right, so here's the thing. You guys, I mentioned this privately. I'll mention it publicly, and I know Richard Lorbieski has no problem telling me to shut up because I talk too much. But you guys all have permission to make sure you can tell me, Steve, you're talking too much. Shut up. But I'm sorry. I got one more thing to say before you do that. On that topic of video game philosophy, I have made friends with a guy who is teaching modern video game design at Kaiser University, which is right by where I live. So we've been having some chats, and I showed him my Cosmic Aliens. He thought that was really neat that I'm doing it on retro hardware and stuff like that. He showed me a game that they're working on right now as a class project. They're working in Unity and C# and stuff like that. So we had a lot of good conversations about game philosophies. I picked his brain. How does a modern game development engine work with collision detection and scrolling and sprites and all these things? So I'm actually going to be able to sit in on some of his classes. So I might even do that tomorrow. I might be going to sit down at a college course on video game design, which is really cool in my opinion. And I've also asked him if he wants to be like a subject of an interview, because you know how we interview like Nick Marentes and all these people, how they're making retro video games on retro hardware. I think it would be interesting to hear how modern video games are being made on modern hardware. It's all kind of related, and I think that topic would be interesting to most of us who like hearing how software is developed. So hopefully that will be something we have in the near future, that whole interview with that guy.
So he actually programs without any worry about RAM running out.
Yeah, pretty much. The concerns and limitations
are gone.
Are less of a challenge now, and so now it's more the creative side of stuff, I guess.
What hardware?
Well, it's just running on Windows, but it's being developed in a cross-platform game development engine called Unity. And with Unity, you could theoretically compile it to run on a Mac or Windows. You can compile it to run on a mobile device. So Unity becomes kind of a cross-platform game engine. And I believe the core of the coding is kind of some type of C, implement some variant of the C language. But it sounds like it's all object-oriented, kind of like what Steve Bjork says he's been doing since the days of the CoCo. But I was asking him, how do you handle collision detection? And every object, you've got all these attributes to it, and it's got the built-in boxes you can put around things. So the software will tell you when two sprites collide in the game engine. You don't have to write the code to figure that stuff out. It's all there. So, which has got me thinking that that's going to be on my radar to do. After I do all my old retro versions of Cosmic Aliens, I'm going to want to do a Unity version of Cosmic Aliens to run on a modern PC, So I'm going to start picking his brain on that. So that might be kind of cool.
Yeah.
You'll need to do it in 3D, though, where we're staring down a flat plane with the aliens walking back and forth on it.
Ooh. That sounds challenging since I don't understand 3D. But yeah, hopefully the software will make it easy.
3D will melt your brain.
It will.
Remember when somebody was making a new version of Temple of Ram
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that?
I would imagine it's still happening, but like a lot of people, they get projects, and then sometimes projects get put on hold because of other life challenges.
Was that on newer hardware? And
yeah, I think he's doing that in Unity.
Well,
I believe so as well.
Yeah,
because that looked pretty good from the.
Oh, yeah, it looked really good. Yeah,
yeah.
So
it'd be interesting to do Temple of Ram in as a Doom map.
Ooh, yeah. That would be kind of cool. Yeah.
I thought somebody had done something like that already.
A Doom?
Yeah.
Well, Nick Marentes had Gatecrasher, which was kind of a Doom for the CoCo. Or like a Castle Wolfenstein, more like for the CoCo.
Yeah.
Yeah, the class project they did was like a modern version of Xevious. So it was a top-down space shooter. So you had all the scrolling backgrounds. You had your spaceship. You had all the enemy formations coming in at you. You were shooting targets on the ground and in the air. You could pick-me-ups to increase your weapons and stuff. So, and he said they threw that whole thing together in like 3 months as a class, and none of them had ever programmed before. So that's pretty impressive that they could do that and make a game look, I mean, again, we're talking about modern development tools, modern hardware, and, most of the heavy lifting is done when you've got a game engine that handles most of the collision detection routines and scrolling routines for you. But it's still impressive.
Low-level stuff is done by the engine, and you just need to program the high-level logic.
Yeah.
So pretty soon you'll be speaking your game into.
Yeah, right. Computer, make me a game.
Yeah. I want an alien over there. And,
bigger.
If you the old file map style games from the NES and stuff like that, there are a lot of do-it-yourself game engines for that.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the ones that Paul Thayer was showing us where he made his Hotel Elevator Action Man or Hotel Elevator Man was some type of game tool that was also working on like tiles and sprites and stuff. And Brett Gordon had shown me a few that are online that you can go to that will create like 8-bit, 16-bit era kind of, platform style games where it's the development kit is all there and you just design the game. You don't have to really worry about programming. So it becomes kind of object-oriented. Level editing it becomes the game design. You design the levels, design the sprites, and tell it what you want them to do, and then the engine makes it all work for you.
It's like a website, huh?
Yeah, almost like these self-website building things, like a Wix website or something, yeah. So, I mean, it's great for rapid development, and if you just want to get it done, that's kind of cool to say, yeah, look here, it looks good. I think for me, I've enjoyed the challenge of doing it in BASIC because I have to build it all from scratch, and it's sometimes the struggle is half the fun. Can I do it? How good is it going to work? What kind of creative things do I have to work on? And then you're getting all the help like from James and other people on how to optimize the interpreter and stuff like that. So it's been a creative challenge and a learning process at the same time. So I've enjoyed this journey. I'm going to enjoy learning assembly. I know that's going to be a struggle and a challenge. I want to crank out a version in assembly, but I figure I'm going to do a lot of things the old way and the hard way, but maybe a year later, I have no problem doing something in Unity where I've already proven to myself I've made it in BASIC, I've made it in assembly, I've done it on old systems. Now let's make a fun, pretty one on a new system,
So when does your book come out?
Whose? How to Rage Quit?
Yeah.
Rage quitting for dummies.
Rage quitting, the Stevie Stroh life story.
My master programmer.
Yeah.
My life is a rage quitter.
What was Grant the other day? He said something like, have you ever considered doing maybe an anger management course or something? I'm like, what's the fun in that? It's no fun if you don't rage quit.
Rage quitting.
We all watch the Netflix movies that have rage things happening. It's our entertainment.
Yeah, right.
The game making tool I have is Game Maker Studio.
Okay.
It makes it really easy to tile.
That might be the one that Paul Thayer made. Is there one that you can get like a free version, and there's the pro version that's like $200 or something?
I picked it up as a Steam deal, and
okay.
It comes with a lot of stuff. It's let's see, I've got the professional and a bunch of other crap for it, but it can do Mac OS and PC. But it's a really good system to, if you wanted to prototype, even for an old school, you could prototype it there, and then you could turn around and write the code for
interesting.
Because then you could build it and test it, and anyway.
Yeah. So things to think about. All right. And we have any closing thoughts? Any parting remarks? Anyone?
Nope.
Yeah, there were some compliments on your game. I posted a link to the latest video of it over on Atari Age, and several people were impressed.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
And Gunstar's progress is pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
He's doing.
Yeah. It's funny. Everybody says you're working on the title screens and you haven't made the game. That's the complete opposite of how everybody does it. But, that's Nick. So he does good stuff, though. So I have no doubt that... And Mr. Eric Canales, everything been good with you?
Yeah, very good. I would just say don't vote for John. You should just vote for me.
There you go. And the campaigning has begun.
Yeah. I'll have some cash for you guys next time.
Are you going to make the club great again?
Yes. I'm going to get a hat that says that.
The only problem I have with that statement is that it was, I would say make it greater, because I think Glenside is great. I think CoCoFest is great, because when you say make it great again, you're implying that it's not great now. And I believe it is great. So if you can make it greater.
I only meant the relationship to them.
Yeah, I know that. I know what you meant. But I had mentioned, I made that comment earlier on Facebook too. Yeah, I don't like saying make it great again, because even with America didn't suck before what's his face got in office. So make it better, but it wasn't like it wasn't good. Good stuff.
I'm just voting for the person with the least hair.
Yeah.
Clearly, they've been working at computers harder if their hair is.
So you're saying I need to shave my head again?
Right now, David picture would have the lock.
What are you saying, Steve?
I don't know. I was having a hard time hearing the last thing that Scott said.
I said right now David Ladd's picture would have the lock.
Oh, okay. David Ladd for Master of the Universe. So here's Grant is back. We started talking about Star Trek and Grant just drops off the call, but now he's back. So
hey guys, I just want to know the pictures have been posted in the BCF room on Discord.
Okay.
And then there's also a link in there too for the videos too. So just a heads up.
Excellent. I'll start gathering those throughout the week. Good. Yeah, we're getting ready to wrap it up too. Anyway, so now 2 hours and 22 minutes. Cool. Well, for a show that we had no idea what we were going to talk about, we managed to talk about things. What were those things? I don't even remember. And I was here. I think Star Trek was one of them. Yes.
Random stream of thought.
Yeah. Star Trek, Aliens, 2001, 2010, 3001. What else did we miss?
Yeah.
The good news is you recorded it all, so you can review it as much as you want.
Yes. So,
Steve, do you belong to the Florida Retro Computer Club?
Yes. Yeah, that's where I was planning on going Saturday before I got all funky.
David Lafanous posted a picture of his setup that he showed on Saturday.
Yeah, he's got the mini MPI and he's running Nick Marentes Popstar on there. Yeah,
it's on Show Us Your Tandy Color Computer.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Nick Marotta just arrived and just in time for a 10. Everybody say hi, Nick Marotta.
Nick Marotta, hello.
Hey, Nick.
It wouldn't be an episode of CoCoTALK without Nick Marotta, and now Nick is here, and now we can all leave. Nick's here. It's time to hit the button, Frank. So, do I still get my name mentioned? Yes, Nick Marotta. We actually mentioned your name earlier before you were here, too. Ken was kind enough to remind us to not forget. Let us not forget Nick Marotta. Good times. All right, well, we're going to put this show out of its misery as well as the audience and the rest of the universe. So everything good, Eric? Any other parting thoughts other than you say don't vote for the other guy, vote for you? Any other parting thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I think we covered everything pretty well. I think we had a good showing at VCF. And,
excellent.
Yeah, I can't wait for next week when we get to talk more about it.
Excellent. James Diffendaffer, any parting thoughts for you?
No, I'm too tired for thought.
There you go. I'm with you. Ron Delvaux.
I'm done.
Put a fork in him.
Yeah.
Grant Leighty, thanks for putting everything in Discord. If you're not already on Discord, find the link in the description of this video. Get on Discord, take a look at the pictures. Anything else, Grant? I know you're tired. You had a long weekend.
Nope. I said this is a wrap.
Yeah, and since you're here, I just want to say thank you for doing a great job last week and keeping the show going. And it was a good episode, great discussions on sprites and stuff. So, congratulations, everyone. David Ladd, Lord of the Floppy. Parting words of wisdom, David.
What?
Thank you for playing with what?
What did he say?
Your words?
I said, are you playing with what, Stevie?
Okay, yeah. I was asking you for parting thoughts, David.
Oh. Hey, I was in the other room getting stuff. Everybody have a great day.
Ken says vote for Pedro. There's a little Napoleon Dynamite there for you.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Scott Wendt. How are you, sir? And what do you got words of wisdom to play us out to?
I didn't start with words of wisdom, so I don't know that I gave any over the course of the show.
Deep thoughts.
All right. Well, we're going to play some really cool jazz music here to play us out here. The CoCoTALK After Dark outro music is going to commence. And thank you all for watching. And Nick Marotta is my personal spiritual advisor. Nick Marotta. Nick Marotta. Nick Marotta. All right, guys. CoCoTALK After Dark episode 14 is a wrap. And here we go. Cue outro music. Oh, yeah. That's right. This week's episode of CoCoTALK After Dark was brought to you by Nick Marotta. Mention Nick Marotta and get Nick Marotta absolutely free while supplies last.
And number 4.
All right. We are going to put a fork in this episode. We are done. Thank you. You're too kind. And good night.
See ya.
Bye-bye, everybody.